Hi, welcome back to Your Future, Your Finances. We're continuing our conversation with Stuart Rosenthal, publisher of the Beacon newspaper, a staple in Montgomery County here. And thank you for coming back on the show. We were talking about the history of it, started in 1989.
Right.
And now all throughout the county, as well as some other counties.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about subscriptions and where it's available.
Okay, well, the paper actually is free to the public through more than 1,500 distribution sites. So you'll find us in almost every public library, senior center, community center around. You'll find us in many CVS's and Rite Aids. Also in lots of other places like doctor's offices and churches and synagogues. But as I say, there are 1,500 of them. So if someone hasn't seen the paper, doesn't know where to find it, they can call us at our office, and we'll tell you where you can find one within easy distance of where you live.
And then you do expos periodically through the year, which I've been to, and they're great.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about those.
Yes, they call them the 50 Plus Expo, and it takes place in the fall. We have two this year. The one in Maryland is September 10th. It's a Sunday, and the one in Virginia is the following Sunday, September 17th. We have very interesting speakers. We have dozens, as you know, of exhibitors, and we have health screenings and flu shots and all kinds of things going on for the day. It's a lot of interest and a nice crowd of people having a good time and getting useful information.
And there's also a program you mentioned that has a deadline coming up with nominations.
Oh, yes, right. The Path of Achievement Awards. Montgomery County gives these Montgomery Serves Awards every year for volunteers who do really wonderful things. And among these various awards, one of them is specifically set aside for older adults. If you're 60 or over and you're a volunteer or you know someone who fits that, who's really spent much of their lives doing great things and above and beyond the call of duty and just such a good role model for people, please nominate them for the award. You can send it in by February 24th, that's the deadline, to Montgomery Serves, I believe it's .org. And it's a wonderful event. They honor the people who are selected, and it encourages more people to do things like that. There's so many places out there that need people's help, and it's really great to know more about those.
Yeah, absolutely. And if someone's seeing this up against the deadline or maybe beyond the deadline, they could keep that person in mind for next year maybe,
exactly.
or reach out to you in the meantime. And then you do some appearances as well. So you're on TV, a weekly review in Montgomery County, or Montgomery Week.
Montgomery Week in Review is a Montgomery cable station, and I mean it's on the Montgomery cable station, and I'm sort of one of the talking heads that talks about various issues in the county, and that's always a lot of fun. I give speeches to lots of different groups who are looking for people to come and talk at a luncheon or whatever. And I'm on a couple of radio shows. Eric Stewart has a show on WMAL. I'm on every Sunday morning. Again, and like your show, people talking about the Beacon and interesting things, interesting topics.
So what are some of the current events going on at the moment on those shows?
Oh, well, I talked in the most recent one about From the Publisher column. Every month I write a column. You asked me during the break if I do anything political. And personally, I'm not that politically involved. And our community, the paper is not, we don't take sides, but we encourage our readers to write letters to the editor on various topics. So I picked a topic that I thought would entice people to write, and believe it or not, I got loads of mail on this one. So our next issue isn't going to have my column. There's no room for it. It's only going to be letters back from the public. But I address the subject of assisted suicide and capital punishment. Two very hot-button issues. And of course, assisted suicide is very much in the news right now because D.C. Has passed a law to permit it, and Congress has just voted to overturn it, and there are all kinds of things going on. So the question is, in my mind, I wasn't trying to say, here are the pros and cons, or it should be or it shouldn't be. What I was just doing is raising the question, how is it that we can have, at the same time, a large force of the population saying capital punishment is a terrible thing, we really shouldn't be putting people to death, even for heinous crimes, and there's no way to do it without cruel and unusual punishment, it's terribly painful and it's terribly horrible, and there's really no nice, good way to do that. And on the same side, say, but we should encourage people to kill themselves if they feel like it. It's very easy. You get a doctor to make a prescription and put you to sleep in a couple of minutes and you're gone. Now, wait a minute,
Yeah, right.
Which way is it, And do we want to be encouraging people to just very easily kill themselves and say it's just not a problem when you feel like it? So in the Netherlands, they passed a law. Well, actually, I should take it back. I understand it's not actually officially in the law, but it's well understood that people were allowed to get doctors to help them die if they had terminal illnesses, they only had 6 months or less to live, and they were feeling very painful and that kind of thing. But they've done away with all those restrictions. Now it's anybody who feels like it can get a prescription. And so the argument here in America is, well, we're only going to do this for a small cadre of people who really have a great need for it. But we saw what happened in the Netherlands. So I just raise these questions to say we really should be looking at these things a little more carefully, I think.
Yeah. And what was the response you got from the public?
All sides, back
all
and
sides.
forth, you know, supporting and not supporting, and here are my ideas of pros and cons. Everybody has their own opinion on the matter.
But certainly some strong opinions,
Yes,
I guess.
yes.
One way or
Right.
another. And then you have the February issue, which is out at this time of
Right.
filming. What are some things going on in that?
Well, our cover story, as you see there, is about online dating and dating for older adults. It's not just online, but also matchmaking services. It's so popular now among the young crowd. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of friends or friends of my kids' age who have met through Match.com or some of these other sites, JDate and whatnot. So why not older people? And older people often, you know, don't have as many opportunities to mingle and mix and see people, perhaps in the same way. And they're looking for the same thing, looking for companionship, looking for love, looking for, you know, making their lives better. So there are things to be aware of. There's some warnings out there. We have a special sidebar on what to be aware of and how not to get caught up in scams and things of that sort, because they're definitely out there. We always warn people about scams in our publication. It's really unfortunate that seniors are focused on for that reason.
Fantastic. And briefly, just a couple seconds left, but we have the housing and home care options.
Right. Every 3 months, quarterly, we have a publication insert called Housing and Home Care Options. If you're staying in your home and you want to age in place and you want to make it easier to stay in your home as you get older, or you're thinking of moving and you don't know where to move to, and what about independent and assisted living and continuing care retirement communities, what's the difference? All these subjects are addressed in this insert. And also home care. If you want to stay in your home but you need health care either permanently or part-time, some kind of thing. So,
which is a big issue, definitely.
Right, a lot of issues there. So we have a lot of stories on those topics every 3 months.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And congrats on the success of the publication. It's a great one. I read it myself. And you're watching Your Future, Your Finances. We've been speaking with Stuart Rosenthal, publisher of the Beacon newspaper here in Montgomery County and a couple other areas here in Maryland now. Thanks for watching.